Well, what a difference going at home and making your shots make. The Minnesota Timberwolves clapped OKC, tore they behind up, beat them by 42 points. They got one game three. It's now 2-1. OKC's up now 2-1. But Anthony Edwards, T. Shannon Jr. came off the bench, played. And this is the thing. I don't know why the Timberwolves be holding back, with their bench, but they got what they got. The contribution was Julius Randle finished with 24. He's been balling. He rebounded from that horrible game he had in game two. They held SGA to 14 points, and OKC had no thunder. They were nothing but melted. They were melted. There was no thunder there. They got rolled out the building. So it's now 2-1. And the Timberwolves have to do it again. They have to win game 4 when they play again. You see, the thing about it is this. You got every chance to win this kind of game. You have to make a statement, And that's what teams that have pride are going to do. They're not going to go home and get waxed now. Doesn't necessarily mean Minnesota's going to come back and win the series, because I don't know if they can win. They got to win all their games at home, and they got to take one in OKC. So, these teams are kind of evenly matched, but if you don't make your shots, that was a difference. And the thing about it is OKC put it on them in the second half, finished them up. So sometimes home cooking and doing the fundamental things like it's supposed to is all the difference in the world. That's really what it came down to. They bust that butt up. They didn't play with them, and they did what they're supposed to do. They weren't playing, and that was one of the most important things about the game. You look at it and you think to yourself, how come y'all can't do this with regularity? That's why sometimes it's hard to take these teams. You just never know, because they play ebbs and flows, and it's like, well, y'all gotta get it together. Y'all know what y'all gonna do. So Minnesota played poised, tore it behind up. It was not close at all, and there's no excuses. OKC is notorious for letting the guard down. And one thing I've noticed with them, they did in the series against Denver, you can get them, and they gotta be prepared to take Minnesota's best shot for all that. That's why I don't get excited about when people talk about how good defenses are and all this. These teams can make too many threes. These teams play so similar that how can you tell when one team is really that good or one team is really that bad when you get to a certain point, But I'm going to tell you something. You have no business getting blowed out by no 30 points after game 1 or 2. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to get home court cooking. You're going to get some calls. You're going to get this and that. You should never get waxed like that. The series that should be done in the first 2 games, So, they finally played like they had some respect. They finally played like they belonged on the court. They tore their behind up all 4 quarters. They will have to have the same intensity. I don't know if they can do it again, but if everybody scores with a balance and Anthony Edwards comes out with aggression, that's what he has to play with. Don't make excuses. Don't push nobody on the ground. Play your game. That's why you're there representing. There's no reason to be, half-hearted. You too good. So we'll see what happens. We'll see who wants it more. This series got all the makings of going 7. I didn't think it'd be no sweep, but it did look good when the Timberwolves were kind of passive in some ways, and the Thunder were just getting and do what they wanted. So they just tighten up on them, which they should be able to do. They should. There really shouldn't be a lot to separate the teams. OKC may have a little bit better bench overall, but there should be no reason why Minnesota folds like a cheerleader. I mean, we are in a parity era, and there is no what I call a great team. You got some good teams, but it's pretty evenly matched, especially in a 3-point area, so nobody's really distancing themselves. But anyway, let me know what you think. Minnesota clapped OKC, so now OKC's up 2-1. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.